You know, it occurs to me I haven't eaten anything yet today. I should grab something real quick. Oh. Terribly sorry, excuse me. Wow. Just looking to get an apple. Have a good meal. God, that guy's weird. Okay. Something to eat. On we go. Quarter of the way through. Let's go, fam. The game really can feel repetitive after a little while. Especially when you're in between monsters and just running for rooms. Well, my character is supposed to be a history buff, so let's talk about some mother effing history, my man! So, where to start? Let's talk about the Emperor of the United States of America. That sounds like a good way to start. Whoop! Hello. Hey, you want to hear about him too? Yeah, he's pretty interesting. So, back in 1859, a man by the name of, I believe it was either Jonathan or Joshua Norton, emigrated to America from Europe. I think he was born in England and then raised in parts of Africa. Emigrated to America and lived in San Francisco. Old Mr. Norton decided, well, hey, there's a rice shortage in China right now, and China costs like 32 cents per gallon. Not gallon, pound. So he bought a bunch of Spanish rice at like 12 cents per pound to sell it at an exorbitant increase. But then, because the boat he bought the rice from wasn't the only boat carrying rice, there was such an influx of rice that it went down to like 3 cents per pound, as opposed to what was originally just 4 cents. So it was even cheaper than it was before the shortage. So he went bankrupt, and he tried to sue the rice company for like giving him bad quality rice, but they weren't buying it. He was broke. He was on the streets of San Francisco, California. He was just wandering around. What is chasing me right now? Oh, it's just you. Certain point in like 1859, 1860, he decides, well, the law in this country is just a mess. Government officials are corrupt. I hate everything here. I'm going to take over. But rather than the normal thing of, hey, let's start like a coup, he just writes a letter to the local newspaper decreeing himself the new Emperor of the United States of America, and is hereby to be referred to as Emperor Norton. And the newspaper published it. Just as a joke. Honor the brain. Check for notes. Just so people could look at it and go, ha, look at this crazy guy. He wants to be the emperor of a free country. Ha. But he sticks to it, and he is setting out laws. First thing he does, writes a letter to Congress saying, hey guys, y'all suck. I want you to meet me in this theater here in San Francisco so we can discuss which of you are permitted to stay and which of you gotta go. Obviously, no congressmen showed up, because why would they? This is some crazy immigrant from San Francisco who's calling himself the emperor. They're not paying attention to him. At this point, he just says, okay, Congress banned now. And he orders the military to go and bring them down. They're all corrupt government officials who are not serving the best interests of the citizens of these United States of America. Army, go throw them off of their ivory tower. Again, obviously, military didn't listen. They didn't care. But at this point, good old Emperor Norton is endearing himself to the public. People like him. This guy walks around in the streets of San Francisco, literally picking up trash, talking to people, looking at public buildings. Ah, dang it. We're going to have to talk about Emperor Norton a little later. I thought I would have more time. Specimen 6. One day, a strange merchant came to town. He sold handmade puppets and trinkets, and all the children loved his store and his gifts. But the town couldn't support his store because the other shops were failing. The other shopkeepers became jealous. So one night, some of the townspeople took all his puppets and threw them in the river. But just afterwards, he came running to the river, crying and wailing that his children were being drowned. He dove into the river trying to save his possessions. The townspeople, bitter and still angry, watched him frantically thrash and dive into the river until he never came back to the surface of the water. Pick up a key. Although not what they wanted, the shopkeepers were satisfied. Years later, the children of the town began to go missing, and as more and more children disappeared, people began to find more and more puppets in the forest and around the river. These puppets seem to look almost like the missing children sometimes. Pick up a bloody key. So right off the bat, torches from Legend of Zelda. You saw some masks up in those rooms. Very Majora's Mask. This temple and the music. Very Shadow Temple. This face. The Happy Mask Salesman. Or, in this game, the Puppet Salesman. Known in the code as Ben. Ben is an interesting fellow. And by interesting, I mean I hate him. I hate him with a fiery vengeance. And he's about to hit me. He didn't hit me. So here's the deal with Ben. There's some misunderstanding about the way he works, especially for new people. The immediate assumption is that you have to look at him to make sure he doesn't move. Which is true. I looked away and he suddenly got a lot closer. However, he is not... Ow! Ow. He is not Weeping Angel rules. If you look away and you hear him moving, he's not walking. He's teleporting. Oh, wow. Oh, I didn't think he would kill me. Well, you get to see a death animation now. Heck. To become a puppet is to rid oneself of the pain and harshness of choice. Now nothing you do is your fault. Now you belong to something. You belong to me. Your soul wanders in endless maze. Damn it! God damn it, Ben, I'm coming for you! You son of a bitch! If I had an axe, you would be dead right now. But instead I was dead. Ugh. So yeah, Ben. Ben's a bad time. Teleports. He does 45 damage. I don't think I mentioned the actual number. And the part that really sucks is, even if you look at him the entire time, once enough time passes, he will eventually just teleport behind you anyway and kill you. Like you saw him do there. And I hadn't even been saving. So I had to put in the password for 250 and then bumble my way back here. It wasn't that bad. I just encountered the spider-pede. That's really about it. Nothing super interesting happened. It is also worth noting, Toast. You don't have to be looking directly at him, just so long as he's in an area where the game thinks that he's in your cone of vision, you're good. Even if he's behind several walls. Yeah, not pure Weeping Angel rules. Ironically, even more dangerous. Oh, thank goodness he's gone. Okay. So back to what we were doing. Emperor Norton! The Emperor of these United States of America! But yeah, so the citizens of San Francisco actually really liked this guy, and they appreciated all of the stuff that he did for them, because he was just hanging out. Because he went bankrupt, he was poor as hell, but there were rumors going around that he was super rich anyway, and was just pretending. At a certain point, he started making his own currency, which was accepted as legal tender in certain San Francisco storefronts. And nowadays, if you actually have any, that stuff is worth thousands. Okay, straight. Nope. At a certain point, damn it, he was arrested, not by actual policemen, but by people who were effectively private security, but were treated as policemen. They arrested him, I assume, for just being a layabout, and threw him in jail. And there was such an outcry from the general public that they actually released him, and the police commissioner straight up apologized publicly for arresting him. And good old Emperor Norton was just like, hey man, you're cool. You get an official pardon. He would go around to restaurants and just get free food, and in exchange give them official seals of approval from the emperor, which pretty much every storefront there wanted one of these seals, because it meant that they would get huge booms in sales. It was nuts. This went on for let's see, it was 1859 to, I want to say 1880 something. It was a good 20 to 30 years. And then one day, while he was walking down the street doing his normal biz, what is it? Oh, it's mosquito. Dressed to the nines in his freaking bowler cap and nice bright red vest, and with he was just decked. Oh, I can't see. Oh, that's the wrong way. I should really be paying more attention when I'm up against this guy, because he can be a problem. One day he just keeled over and died, just while he was doing his walk. And initially, because he was destitute, oh, this is the wrong, oh, thank goodness. He was just going to get a pauper's coffin and funeral, nothing super fancy. But the citizens of San Francisco got together and said, no, our emperor deserves better than that. And now you can find his friggin' headstone, and he is listed as the Emperor of the United States. And while he was still alive, even, the government officially addressed him in the sentence as his occupation being emperor. Of course, he was also listed as insane. But still, the acknowledgement of him as occupation emperor is pretty top. You gotta appreciate that. But no, Emperor Joshua / Jonathan Norton. I think it was Joshua. It was a fun time. Back when people trying to take over the United States were a lot more friendly. Oh, that's the wrong way. Juker! Couldn't do it. Is that story relevant to anything in this game? No. However, it's fabulously entertaining. To me. Just for how ludicrous it is. And I'm glad I was finally able to finish that stupid story after getting very rudely interrupted by Ben. Frickin' Ben. Right, Ringo? Doesn't Ben suck? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Slow down a little. Okay. You want to be careful about going too fast, especially in rooms that are very obviously meant for those kinds of ghost enemies to walk through walls. Because if you go too fast, they will cut you off. But if you go slow enough, they are programmed to just go straight for you. And you can kind of get them into a situation where you can make it around the corner before they'll reach you. No note. Still no note. Got some Yume Nikki looking paintings though. I never did finish Yume Nikki. It's a tough game to actually finish. Because there's just so much. Still no next note. I feel like we have to get more eventually. Like, I think there are only 2 more. Repeating rooms. With the question mark hallway. Holy crap, how many times? Okay, we're done. That was getting silly. You know what? I'm gonna go this way, actually. Oh, and here's Spiderpede. But then there's room 400. So we're fine. Hang in there. Huh. I've learned my lesson. Now that Ben is in play, I'm saving. Because holy crap. It's just too much! It's too much! Ah, Tommy, why? Alright. You know, thinking about it, now that we hit Ben, it was Specimen 6, I don't strictly remember who's next. Like, I'm trying to think about it, but... Oh. Oh. Oh, yeah! It's this one. What's up, cat? You know, out of all the things I am, Lost may be on that list. This is a real interesting one. I actually like it a lot, but I have no idea what it's actually supposed to do. You'll find out later what I mean. Oh my. This thing giving me strawberry wafer feels, but with bacteria. It's always watching, no matter what side I'm on. Knowing your projections. Knowing the imagery you cast upon the world that exists only within your own head. It was changed in HD renovation, and I believe also in a patch, that the room count goes up now. Originally, you were at room 410 this whole time. We all wear masks. It's a regular part of life. They're, not to be a meme, our personas. What we project onto the world so that we fit in more, so that we're more approachable, more appropriate, more human. And yet also somehow less human. It all depends on whether you're on the inside or the outside of the mask. It is also worth noting you can totally get chased in these in-between sections. And I gotta say, it's a bad time. Because you'll never guess who chased me one time in this section. Good old Ben. There's no forward door. Can't see the clock anymore. It's just this. A balance of our personas, a balance of our shadows. What we must do and what we want to do, who we are and who we should be. Balance. So, in case you're wondering, this is not Specimen 7. This is just called the Cat. That's the only name it has, whether it be in the coding or on the wiki or in fans. It's just the Cat. Specimen 7 is through that door. Let's go see him. Let's go meet our shadow. My shadow is full of intestines. So, the encounter with Specimen 7 is sketchy. I say that because I've never seen him. I know he has a model. I've seen pictures of it. But every time I've ever encountered this area, no matter how long I wait at a door, I haven't seen him. The way it's supposed to work is he's effectively a demon wall who looks a lot like the final boss in Earthbound. He progresses purely on a horizontal line from the start of the room to the end. Oh, hey, there he is. He moves slowly, but he's an instant death. If that touches you, it's game over. immediately. You don't lose any health, you just die. There's no death animation, it's just game over. He won't ever appear again, and he moves slowly enough that you can always get to the door. Which, the way I found it works is as long as you just hold to the left, you're gonna find the door. Some of these rooms can be kind of maze-like, but that's pretty much the pattern. Just hold left. But yeah, this guy, he doesn't have a name. He's just Specimen 7. And no one really knows what it's supposed to be. The only thing we do know is what the cat tells us about our shadow. And what the computer will eventually tell us, which I won't go into now. Rather, I want to talk a little bit about the cat and the shadow and the player. Because they're all obviously interconnected on a psychological level. And there are a lot of theories about what they're supposed to represent. There are some talking about how the cat is supposed to be like a therapist or some such, and the shadow is your inner demons. Personally, the theory I go towards is more... it's more Jungian. A lot of the things the cat talks about are very Jungian. Mine are... So, it would be Carl Jung. Not Jungian, it's Jungian, I know. By studying him and Sigmund Freud, that we begin to understand what they are. Because in my mind, what I think they are... Previously, is always every 50. Now, once you reach 50, you're immediately chased. Fun time, huh? I think what they are is a representation of the trichotomy of the mind, of a sort. There are three parts to your consciousness. There is the ego, which is effectively your most surface self. The superego, which is meant to be your morality, your sense of right and wrong. And the id, which is meant to be your most base instincts. It's basically like, it's the human brain, the monkey brain, and the lizard brain. What I think they are is, I think the cat is a representation of the superego, being very self-aware, knowing what is right and what is wrong, and just having an understanding of what's going around, and how you should seek to understand more of the things around you. Because that's very much what the superego is. It's very based in emotion and understanding. Meanwhile, the demon wall would be the id. It's your shadow, it's your darkest desires, it's the things that you want that maybe aren't necessarily appropriate. But that's just my personal theory. Like I said, there's not really much to go on with them, except for what we're given by the computer and the devs. And they are one of the ones who they never really talk about the lore for. There's not much to get out of the code or anything. They're just cat and demon wall. Oh, this is a bad room for this guy. I'm making a bet. Oh, I can hear him getting closer. Oh, where is he? There he is. I thought he was a lot closer than he actually was. But yeah. Specimen 7, you're never going to encounter him again. There are only 2 specimens in the entire game that only appear in their specific rooms, and that's one of them. Oh, fuck! Oh, I didn't hear him until it was too late. Oh, dang it, Ben. Now is not the time for you. But no. A lot of people just call it the demon wall. I mean, that's as appropriate of a name as you're going to get. Yeah, I see you. There was a jump scare there. Ben, you're really not a team player. You don't really work with the jump scares like the other ones do. The jump scares work for you in that they stop me from moving while I'm looking at you. Can you please go away? Holy crap. Okay, thank goodness. We're almost at... Oh, finally. I don't think that was wine. It only took 100 floors to find that note, but we got there. Which means, coming up pretty soon, we should get the end of the romantic. I don't know how much longer I can go on. I haven't seen any of my previous notes, so that means either I'm getting somewhere or someone is taking them. Hey, I put them back on the table. Don't look at me. Room 500. Yeah. I have great stamina. I have ample flesh. All right. The password is cheese. Ugh. God, I can't believe I let Ben kill me in his first encounter. Oh my gosh. That is so embarrassing.